for any aspiring actors who want to break the boundaries, who want to push doors, exactly what you have done, what advice do you have?
Learn to act on stage. Don't rely on social media. Put it down, turn it off, shut up, be quiet, learn, read, relax, get better. First part of your life you learn, second part of your life you earn, third part of your life you return.
Can you be my therapist?
I already am.
Thank you so much.
And it'll cost you, that'll be,
I'll pay you after.
yeah, that'll be 50 quid. I'm telling you from 70 years of experience, don't listen to them.
Yeah. Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Gift. It's an opportunity, and most importantly, it's a gift. Obviously, everybody here is talented enough to do that, but don't get it twisted.
Denzel Washington doesn't have to raise an eyebrow or clear his throat to make a point. His presence alone resets the atmosphere. Conversations tighten, egos shrink, and suddenly everyone remembers why they're there. He's not loud, he's not flashy, and he never chases attention. His authority comes from restraint, from knowing exactly when to speak and when to let silence do the damage. For more than 40 years, Denzel Washington has moved through Hollywood untouched. No headline chaos, no career spirals, no public breakdowns, just steady dominance and sharp control. That calm isn't accidental, though. Behind it sits a personal code, a quiet filter that decides who stays close and who fades out without warning. Denzel doesn't worship fame, he values focus. He doesn't respect noise, he respects discipline and mastery. Cross that line, and there's no dramatic confrontation, no big speech, no final warning. The roles like Training Day and Malcolm X made him iconic, but the real power move is what happens between projects. He doesn't rant or vent, he simply stops answering. Calls go quiet, doors stop opening, and suddenly your name isn't on the list anymore. Once that happens, there's no rewrite, no comeback chapter. He's worked with legends and newcomers alike, but only a handful ever earned his real respect. Others revealed themselves fast, either on set, in interviews, or by pushing too hard to be liked. Trying too hard is where people slip up, and that's where this list starts. These are the actors who crossed an invisible line, never got a second shot, and likely never even realized when the cutoff happened. No official blacklist, no public fallout, just a silent erase. First up is Chris Pratt. Denzel respects actors who show up grounded and locked in. And then there are actors who mess it up before they even realize a bridge exists. When Denzel signed on to The Magnificent Seven, it wasn't just another role. He agreed to share weight, space, and legacy with 6 other men. That's not something he treats lightly. He didn't come to crack jokes, chase viral moments, or force chemistry. He came to serve the story. From day one, Chris Pratt was moving different. Pratt brought what Hollywood loves: energy, charm, and non-stop charisma. The smile stayed on, the jokes kept flowing, and the improvisation never stopped. But that looseness didn't line up with the tone Denzel was building. On screen, they were castmates, partners by contract. Off screen, the rhythm never matched. Denzel has worked with comedians, improvisers, big egos, and unpredictable personalities. That's not the issue. What he won't accept is treating the craft like a casual performance. That's how Pratt came across to him. Not reckless, not rude, just not locked in. Denzel lives inside the frame, not around it. When he saw energy bouncing instead of settling, he pulled back. One crew member summed it up perfectly. Denzel doesn't need you intense, he needs you present and still. No shouting matches followed, no demands, no recasting drama. He simply narrowed his focus until Pratt no longer existed in it. After filming Wrapped, the message became clear. No joint photo moments unless required. No praise in interviews, no casual shoutouts, no acknowledgement at all. From a man known for uplifting co-stars, that silence speaks loud. That wasn't an oversight, that was the decision. After the movie dropped, the pattern got even louder in its quietest form. Denzel Washington talked about the message, the director's vision, and the weight of the story. But one name stayed missing every single time. No shoutouts, no casual praise, no great working with moments. And that absence wasn't accidental. Chris Pratt probably walked away thinking everything was solid. Smiles on the carpet, cameras flashing, no tension in public. But with Denzel, silence is never neutral. Silence is a boundary. Once he clocks an energy he doesn't trust or respect, he doesn't argue with it, he exits it. By the time the final cut hit theaters, Pratt was already outside Denzel's circle. Denzel doesn't move loud when he's done with you. He doesn't rant in interviews or sneak disses on podcasts. He just stops engaging. That's how you know it's over. And that brings us to another name that rubbed him the wrong way, Jared Leto.
I just realized I forgot to wear a shirt.
I just realized that I remembered to wear a shirt.
Oh, you
That's usually my look. Yeah.
can trade up.
They would trade up.
There's a type of intensity Denzel respects, the locked-in, inward kind that stays focused on the work. Then there's the kind that grabs attention before the camera even rolls. That second type doesn't impress him at all. Even though Denzel and Jared Leto hadn't worked together for years, their paths crossed through awards shows, industry circles, and shared collaborators. And whenever Leto's name came up, the energy reportedly went cold. Leto's extreme method style, staying in character non-stop, turning sets into spectacles, pushing the performance beyond the frame, didn't land well with Denzel. He comes from theater roots, Yale-level discipline, where the character lives on the page and on screen, not in the hallway between takes. When someone makes the process about themselves, Denzel checks out. Long before Leto's on-set behavior became public conversation, Denzel had already clocked it as ego dressed up as commitment. To him, the real work speaks for itself when the camera is rolling. Everything else is just noise. So, when The Little Things came around in 2021, people expected fireworks, 2 Oscar winners, gritty crime thriller, serious material. But something felt off from the jump. During press, Denzel focused strictly on the script, the director, and Rami Malek. Jared Leto barely came up. Behind the scenes, the gap was clear. Leto stayed in character constantly, never interacting casually. Denzel didn't complain or correct him. He stayed in his lane, did his job, hit his marks, and left. Once filming wrapped, that distance only grew wider. Denzel skipped joint press appearances, kept his comments short, and stayed neutral. Meanwhile, Leto praised him publicly, calling him a legend and a dream to work with. Denzel gave nothing back. Years later, when asked about the experience, Denzel summed it up with one word: interesting. That wasn't praise, that was closure. Leto thrives on transformation, but Denzel thrives on truth and control. Chaos doesn't survive long in his orbit. And coming up next, number 3. Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington came from 2 totally different acting worlds.
Your faith means so much to you. Have you always talked about it?
It's a balance. I don't want to jam it down anybody's throat,
Yeah.
but I do not deny my faith. That's an even bigger sin. You know, it's not popular in my industry, but, you know, I cannot deny my faith. It's important for me to share that with people, but I have friends from all walks of life.
And that gap showed without a single argument ever breaking out. Wahlberg trusted instinct, momentum, and vibe. Denzel came in with structure, rehearsal, table work, and precision. Neither was wrong, but they weren't speaking the same professional language. There were no blow-ups on set, no raised voices, no dramatic moments. Denzel didn't try to correct Wahlberg or change his approach. He simply adjusted his own space. Conversations stayed short, work stayed clean, and once the day wrapped, Denzel was gone. Wahlberg stayed social, joked around, kept things loose. That contrast didn't cause chaos, but it created something just as powerful: distance. That detachment became even clearer once the press tour started. Wahlberg leaned into his usual lane: big laughs, off-the-cuff jokes, and playful banter aimed straight at the audience. Denzel didn't match that energy at all. He spoke less, smiled less, and sometimes didn't even look in Wahlberg's direction when questions came up. To casual viewers, it looked like nothing. But people who understand Denzel's patterns caught it immediately. He always praises the actors he respects. He names them directly, uplifts them publicly, and makes sure their work is highlighted. Wahlberg never got that treatment. Instead, Denzel consistently redirected interviews back to the director, the story, and the overall concept of the film. It was always about the work, never about the partnership. Years later, when asked if he'd work with Wahlberg again, Denzel gave a calm, measured answer. It was fun. And that was it. No edge, no shade, no emotion, just finality. Because for Denzel, chemistry alone doesn't mean compatibility. If the foundation isn't built on shared focus and respect for the process, he doesn't force it. Wahlberg was never unprofessional, but to Denzel, the tone felt too lightweight. And when the work feels light, Denzel lets it go. They never teamed up again. No reunions, no follow-ups, no shared projects. Wahlberg still speaks positively about the experience. Denzel, as always, says almost nothing and somehow says everything. Next up, number 5, Tyrese Gibson.
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no fucking diamonds. Take all this shit. This bracelet right here look real as a... This shit was $23 on Amazon.
You said, look.
Are those earrings real?
No.
You can't.
You know why it's not real? Because I've lost so much of this shit. I just spent $500,000 on the fucking watch. Call Jacob the jeweler. I'm good. I don't lose no sleep over trying to win the popularity contest from showing up.
And this one cuts even quieter. Denzel Washington almost never responds to public criticism, so when he stays silent, that silence echoes. Back in 2014, Tyrese Gibson gave interviews that didn't explode in headlines, but the message was clear. He wanted to work with Denzel badly. He called him the actor he admired most, the one collaboration he dreamed about. But when no calls came and no projects materialized, that admiration slowly shifted. Tyrese began suggesting that Denzel was a gatekeeper, claiming he didn't mentor enough younger black actors outside elite Hollywood circles. He even said Denzel never gave him a shot and kept to himself. Denzel never responded. No statement, no clarification, not even a subtle reply. Instead, he did what he always does when a line is crossed. He closed the door quietly. At the time, 2 film ideas were floating around with both names loosely attached. One was a police story, the other an ensemble project with a faith-based angle. Before scripts moved forward, Denzel stepped away from both. No announcements, no explanations. He simply walked off the board. This was never about hurt feelings or personal shots. Denzel Washington has heard louder critics and survived way bigger noise than this. Tyrese Gibson's real mistake was thinking visibility equals access. He believed being famous, sharing genres, and pulling numbers automatically earned him a seat at the table. But Denzel doesn't hand out seats like favors. He watches behavior. He studies intention. And when someone throws accusations without understanding the weight behind those words, Denzel doesn't argue back. He disappears. Tyrese has always moved with raw emotion, everything on his sleeve, passion turned all the way up. He acts with volume, talks with feeling, and lets the world see every reaction. But to Denzel, that level of emotional exposure doesn't read as honesty. It reads as instability. Denzel values control not just in performance but in presence. Emotional outbursts, public frustrations, sideways interviews. That stuff doesn't land as truth to him. It lands as noise. He once said everyone has passion, but not everyone knows where to place it. Even years later, Tyrese kept bringing up Denzel's name. Sometimes with praise, sometimes with tension underneath. But Denzel never responded, not once. No red carpets, no talk shows, no legacy panels, no subtle acknowledgments. This wasn't a feud. There's no bad blood, just one man waiting for a door to open and another who already sealed it shut and walked away. When Denzel sees emotional volatility dressed up as ambition, he doesn't try to fix it, he avoids it. For Tyrese Gibson, the rejection was never announced publicly. It just became permanent. Now, number 6, Russell Crowe. On paper, this pairing looked unstoppable. 2 intense performers, 2 commanding presences, 2 heavyweights, and on screen in American Gangster, that tension worked perfectly.
I had a girlfriend I eventually ended up marrying some many years later, and I'm a very jealous person. And we walked into this pub, and a guy was there, and he greeted her effusively and gave her a cuddle and a kiss, and I'm sort of standing there. He hasn't even acknowledged my existence at this point in time.
Off-screen, though, the connection never fully clicked. They'd worked together once before in the late 90s on Virtuosity, loud sci-fi, no drama, no friendship, just work. When they reunited for American Gangster, the stakes were higher and the roles were deeper. But creative friction followed them through production. Crowe is known for being hands-on, sometimes too hands-on. He likes creative input, suggestions, and influence behind the scenes. Denzel doesn't operate like that. He believes in trust. Show up, respect the system, do the work, and let the director lead. Crowe's intensity didn't offend him, but it drained him. Everyone wants control, but Denzel wants the story. During press, they sat side by side, professional and respectful. No warmth, no future collab talk, no excitement about working together again. Crowe praised Denzel openly. Denzel stayed focused on the director. Even when reflecting on American Gangster, Denzel spoke about the era, the themes, and the structure of the film. He rarely mentioned his co-star. And from him, that silence says more than any critique ever could. Denzel doesn't hold grudges, he holds standards. When someone crosses that line, he doesn't fight them. He forgets them. No headlines, no warnings, just silence where their name used to be. Because in his world, respect isn't requested, it's earned. Nothing about this list was loud, accidental, or emotional. That's the part most people miss. Denzel Washington doesn't react, he observes. Every move, every comment, every shift in energy gets logged quietly. He doesn't announce decisions, he lets time reveal them. Hollywood loves to pretend everything is about talent and box office numbers. But behind closed doors, respect matters just as much, maybe even more. Some actors stay winning roles and landing deals, while others slowly fade out without ever knowing why. No drama, no scandals, just fewer calls and shrinking opportunities. That's how it works at the top. And Denzel's name carries weight because he doesn't abuse it. He doesn't tear people down publicly. He doesn't run his mouth or play industry politics out in the open. He simply remembers who showed discipline, who respected the craft, and who treated the work seriously. And the ones who didn't? They don't get shouted out. They don't get invited back. They don't get mentioned at all. That silence isn't random. It's intentional. Some actors never even realize when the door quietly closed behind them. That's the cold part of it. There's no warning sign, no final conversation, no second chances wrapped in motivation speeches. You either fit the code or you don't. And once you're out of alignment, the list doesn't need updating. You're already on it. So if you want more stories Hollywood never says out loud, make sure you hit that like button right now. Share this video so it reaches the right people. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment with the one name you think deserved a spot on this list the most. We're reading everything. And don't click away yet. Check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama, industry tension, and quiet power moves they never explain. I'll see you on the next one.